What's going on, everybody? It's been a pretty boring day so far. All I've been really doing is editing, besides this morning when I was shoring, but it's also been a really crappy day outside. It's really windy, it's really cold, but we're gonna be changing things up a little bit. I'm gonna get out of the house, take a break from editing, and the ceiling is done at our hog building site, but it's supposed to get down below freezing tonight, and you don't want that to happen because we don't have the insulation blown into the ceiling yet. So we're gonna fill up the generator with some gas, and we're gonna take it up to the building site for the night so that it can heat the building, because if we don't heat the building, that ceiling is gonna pull really hard. It's gonna pull out of place, and then they're gonna have to go in there and fix it. And we don't have any electricity up there because Alliant Energy hasn't been up there yet. So our only options are to put a generator up there. That should do it. Where'd you get that generator at?
Ace more.
You just buy it today?
Yep, I thought I was gonna get by without needing it, but the power company did me dirty, so it's gonna get down to 25 tonight.
They said they were gonna be there last week.
That's why they're Alliant Energy. They tell all kinds of people all kinds of things, but they're not there. We don't have power, so we gotta have a generator, so.
So what happens if it rains tonight?
Doesn't matter. This thing's waterproof, so it'll be all right.
I would turn on a light for you guys, but we don't have any power right now, and none of the lights are really hooked up yet, so we don't have any light. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire up these heaters, and you'll be able to see the blue flame that shoots up into these things to heat this barn up. Now we should be good for the night, hopefully. Hopefully we don't wake up and there's a disaster in this building. So it's been a while since we've been up here to really show you guys what's been going on. As I've said earlier, the structure of the building is done, the outside of the building's done. Now we're just kind of in here working on the stuff to put everything together inside. And what they've went ahead and done the last couple days is put this feed line up. We're having 2 tubes. Why are we having 2 tubes for our feeder?
So when the feed system runs, it fills the feeders completely because these wet dry feeders are pretty tall. And that way the feed system doesn't have to run as often. So we're basically using all the space that we paid for buying those bigger hoppers.
And that's better for what?
Better for your feed lines. I mean,
Better.
Over time you're gonna run less cycles. So it's better to run these feed lines. When they start, we want them to run as long as possible, get as much feed as possible, so we run fewer times, because the more, or I should say the less often they're kicking on and off, the less wear.
Yep, then we got 2 heaters in here, waiting on a 3rd one to show up. Water lines are in, soaker lines are in, with the soakers on them.
Electrician's got part of the lights in. This building will have, each room will have 3 rows of lights, and these are what they call once lights, and they're an LED light. I think those are 13 watts maybe. They're either 7 watts or 13 watts, so they don't burn much power, and they make great light.
This is kind of the boring, we've kind of got past all the fun parts, guys. We've got past the concrete, we've got past the Amish crew doing their thing, so now we're into the more boring kind of stuff, putting the feed line up, and I didn't figure you guys would want to see a ton of that, so I'm going to shoot as much as I can in here, but I'm not going to make it my priority to be up here all the time like I was when the concrete was getting laid or getting poured. And
not that hanging feed pipe isn't sexy, because we all know that it is, but when it's kind of the same. Once you've seen it once, it doesn't change much. But probably by the end of this week, we're gonna have gates and feeders going in, and then the crew that did this will come back and have about 2 days finishing up, testing everything. The electrician, he's gonna be about 2 days back, he's gonna be done, and we're really waiting on our local power company to get permanent power to the site. We may have to run off of our generator, because the building may be done before we have actual power trenched all the way from the road.
So that's the little update on how everything's coming along up here. Dad and I, we're gonna have to go into the workroom eventually, and we're gonna have to buy a washer, a dryer, a water heater. We're gonna have to put a sink in there. We're gonna have to get a fridge in there. meet you up there, old man. Hey, Knucklehead, let's get it going here. Slowpoke, what's taking you so long? Hit it. Hit it. Look at that beast go. That rusty beast. Duke's stretching out. He's getting ready to run. There he is. Got to see what the boys are up to. License and registration, please.
Oh, here, just.
What's that there on sitting in your little cup holder there? Not the cup holder, the little compartment there. Can I have that?
No, not a chance. Winter's coming. I got to keep my weight on, or I might not be able to make it through. It's time to bulk up.
What are we doing?
'Tis the time of year where we got to figure out how much fertilizer our fertilizer factory has made for us. This is where it pays to have paid attention to math class, because we're going to have to figure the volume.
Step one.
Step one, unplug the fan. Step two, get that side loose, because your partner in crime's running the camera. So we don't have to take it all the way off. We just got to get it down far enough that we can get our staff in.
Mmm. Tasty.
So to a normal person, that looks like crap, but to me, that looks like 250 bushel corn, so it's okay with me.
Most people, this would smell like poop, but to us, it smells like money. It's the best damn fertilizer you could put on your fields. The most green possible thing you can have. Take the grain out of the field, grind it up, feed it to the pigs. Pigs poop it out, put it in this pit, put this back onto the field. I don't know how much more green you can get than that.
This is a very scientific method. Go find yourself a long pipe. Whoa, I might have gotten one just about too long. You stick that all the way down to the bottom, then you pull it out. Try not to fling poo on Sawyer. You lay it down, and I go get my tape measure. I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Finally made it back.
I probably have 25 tape measures, and there's never one where I need it when I need it. So anyway, now we're gonna take our handy dandy, and we'll takes a steady hand. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just gotta be close. Looks like about 75 inches, so a little over 6 feet. 75 inches, and the sump is 6 inches deep, is 69 inches. Let's just do a easy figure. We'll just say it's 6 feet, and that'll get us close. So if it's 6 foot deep times 100 foot wide times 195 feet long is 117,000 cubic feet times, I think it's 7.47 will give you gallons. 7.47. 873,990 gallons. Now then, that's not quite right, because one, you'll never get it all the way empty, and two, we have to allow for our sumps, so that's a little lower. I'll bet you there's about 850 gallons of manure in there.
850 gallons?
850,000 gallons of manure. That's a lot. But we're probably going to put on 4,500 gallons to the acre. We got 850,000 divided by 4,500. That's 188 acres. So one of our neighbors is actually going to use this manure on their ground this fall, and they're coming next week to pump it. So they've got, I think they've got about 240 acres. So they will either vary their rate. They'll either cut back and not put as many gallons to the acre on to be able to cover everything, or they will cover as much as they can with this manure, and then the rest of it they'll have to use commercial fertilizer. The other thing that is dependent is we're going to take one of these jars that we got at Widoff's, and we're going to get a sample of manure, and we're going to get it analyzed. So that way we know pretty close what our analysis is, so we can dial it in exactly how many gallons to the acre. It's not precise because the values in the manure vary a little bit. If I get a sample here and I got a sample on the other side and got a sample at that end, none of them are going to be exactly the same, but they're all going to be pretty close. So we can pretty much take our sample and say that's what we're going to have.